describe him to us?
Tall. About 25. Bit frightening, really.
Well, look, Miss Dallow, if this guy comes bothering you again, just get in touch with us as soon as you can, all right?
Oh, God, what's that?
You'll have to excuse us a minute. What's going on?
It's her kid, her baby.
Thank you. What is it?
My baby.
Yeah?
No, Deborah, not that.
Okay, just calm down and tell me exactly what's happened.
Christopher, it's Christopher.
Yes?
Andrew, that's the police.
Is the baby ill? Huh?
My son.
What?
He's dead, I think.
Can you take him upstairs, please, to a room? Quick as you can. What's it going to be? Let me see what I can do for him. Mr.
If I can stay here, I'm upstairs.
Mr.
Robbins,
Right,
Robbins.
Mr. Robbins, please, could you go outside just for a minute, and I'll see what I can do. Please, just for a minute.
Have you called an ambulance yet, love?
Just the doctor.
101 Sierra Oscar, are you receiving? Over. Yeah, Sarge, I need an ambulance urgently at number...
68.
68 Stewart Road, over.
Message understood. Out.
Now look, might you have swallowed something by any chance?
No, he was asleep. Well, we thought he was...
Mum.
Just a minute, darling.
But Mum, it's time I was at school.
Come on, darling, come in here.
What's she doing in there?
Look, you better come down now, Mr. Robbins.
No.
No, the policewoman is trained in first aid. She'll do everything she can. Now, please, come down.
Okay.
Mr. Robbins.
Come on, darling, finish your breakfast. Come here. Andrew?
Come on, you have some orange juice, Orange juice, then.
Is this all your own work, is it, Deborah?
Yes.
You're a good painter, aren't you?
It was me. It was my fault.
No, love, no.
Sierra Oscar 101 from Sierra Oscar receiving.
Excuse me a minute. "101 receiving, over."
Give us a sit rep, will you, Taffy?
Yeah, we're still waiting for the ambulance, Sarge. It looks like we've got a possible infant mortality.
We'll need CID here.
I'll ring through.
There's a doctor on the way. The GP's been called. She's just round the corner.
Right, thanks, Taff. Out. Try and get hold of the duty officer, will you?
They're upstairs in the baby's room. There's a WPC with him.
Right,
I'm
thank
going
you.
with him.
And there's an ambulance on its way.
Thank you. It's the doctor. When did you find him, Mr. Robbins? About what time?
About 10 minutes ago. He'd had his feed and been put back to bed, and then Rachel came up to check on him, and then I heard her shouting.
Mr. Robbins, I'm afraid. I'm sorry.
Oh, please.
I'm so sorry. Why don't we go?
Better hang on here a minute, guys. I'm not sure what we got this time.
What's happening?
Probably be better if you all waited inside. You couldn't arrange it for us, could you?
Is he dead then? Christopher?
Look, love. Your mum and dad will have a chat with you in a minute, all right? Mr. Robbins. Is there anywhere your daughter could go for a bit?
I'll ring Rachel's sister. Come on, Debbie. Come talk to your mummy.
Packed him off to school first thing this morning. He took his lunchbox and everything.
But he didn't arrive.
The school secretary rings up. Your Roger's not turned up, Mrs. Lamb.
Any likely reason you can think of why he went missing like this?
I can't think.
I think the best thing we're going to do is
Same
find out
family,
Mrs.
you
Burton.
reckon?
I'm sure it is.
Well, it's the same name, different address, but the Robins did move after the first time. Did Tom Pelling tell the CID about the previous occasion?
Can't get hold of anyone. Left a message for Tosh. Socko's been informed.
Well, I'll go through the cars, see if it throws any light, eh?
When did it happen before?
Must be about 4 years ago. It was a baby girl.
Could be a bit twitchy about this one, CID, if it's the second time.
Well, there was no cause for suspicion before. I mean, these cop this, they run in the family sometime, don't they?
So I'm sure there's no reason to worry about it turn up. How old is he?
He'll be 10 next month.
And his school?
St. Peter's Middle School.
What's his school attendance like, Mrs. Lamb? Does he like to be playing hooky? Or lobbed off with his mates?
I'll beat him black and blue if he has.
Hey, Ellison.
Cheers.
Oh, yeah, there's a cot death.
Yeah, tricky situation. Might have been the previous baby.
Linda Robbins, 4 months, DOA.
Yeah, I was on relief, on foot patrol. If it's the same family, they used to live at Glenside. Baby was unconscious, died in the ambulance.
Can you comment on this one, Sarge? If you know them, I might help these things a bit.
Oh, of course.
I'll clear it with Inspector Fraser, if that's OK.
Right.
We'd better get there.
Hey, Tosh.
Yeah?
Can we come back?
Yeah.
All right, Deborah. Your mum and dad won't be long. Hang on, put your belt on. Look, thanks very much for all your help, Mrs. Hudson. I'm very grateful. Sergeant Crowe?
Hello.
I'm Rachel Robbins' sister, remember?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about the...
Yeah.
How are things, June?
I'm not sure, really, Sarge.
Is this open?
Yeah.
All right, Taff?
Sarge. Parents are in there, and the doctor's with them.
Right. Now, I know you two are upset, but we've got to be thinking about the parents, because this is the second time they've been through this. Had a baby daughter die.
Look, I'll go and introduce myself, eh?
Yeah, good thinking, Tosh.
Cheers.
Right. The soccer will be along shortly, but I don't want them in there until Tosh has had a chance to talk to Mr. and Mrs. Robbins. They've decided where they want to go. So I want you to take care of the parents, particularly the mum, because you're going to be very, very wobbly. And Taff, if you could get onto the station and ask them to get in contact with the coroner's office.
Right, Sarge. Oh, and there's something the CID should know. The daughter, the little girl, she's started to blame herself for what's happened.
Oh, I don't think there's likely to be anything in that, but I'll tell Tosh that anyway. Oh, yeah, hello. Look, I'll tell the doctor you're here. If you could wait out here for a couple of minutes, yeah? Thanks. Mortuary van. Photographer?
Yeah, he's on his way.
Good. Right, June, do your stuff.
I realise it's in a position, but an officer will be arriving to remove certain items of bedding and clothing for forensic.
We're under suspicion.
It's routine proceeding, Mr. Roberts. Please don't take it personally.
Which other way is that?
We have to do these things.
Look, why don't you leave the house just for a couple of hours while we...
I'm not going anywhere.
I'm not staying here when they're raking over our things.
Can't it wait? He's too...
Unfortunately, it can't. I'm sorry. I know this is going to be very painful for you, but we've got to talk about the circumstances of Christopher's death. Either we can talk at your sister's or down at the police station, whichever.
We're to be arrested.
No, we ask for your cooperation on a voluntary basis.
Why suggest the station then?
Only that it might be less distressing for your daughter to talk at the station rather than your sister's.
Excuse me, can I have a word?
Yes, certainly. It's going to let me see. Inspector, this is Dr. Dennett.
Hello.
Well, Mr. and Mrs. Robbins, I'm sure you remember me.
It's vital that Mr. and Mrs. Robbins see their baby as a way of saying goodbye.
Officially, this must be treated as a suspicious death. It's got to be that way.
It's cot death. 6 babies die somewhere like this every day.
All right. So long as everything in the room is left exactly as it is.
Thank you.
June, can you go upstairs with the parents? It's okay for them to look at the baby, but don't let them touch anything. And afterwards, perhaps you could get them out of the way, take them out into the garden for a few minutes.
Christopher.
So if you could give them a couple of minutes, yeah? Goodbye, Doctor.
How long have you been their GP, Doctor?
Nearly 4 years.
Was that about the same time when their first baby died?
Yes.
Why did they change doctors? Move to a different area?
No, they didn't want to stay with their previous doctor. They felt unhappy dealing with him.
Has Mrs. Robbins suffered from postnatal depression? You know we have to ask these things.
She had a mild bout, nothing extreme.
She was under medication.
No, it cured itself.
Has she seen you over nerves, anxiety states, things like that?
For a short while, when the baby daughter died.
But there were no serious problems?
I did get a bit concerned about Deborah at one point.
What bothered you, Doctor?
Rachel and Andrew became very overprotective towards her after Hardy let her out of the house, suffocating the child with affection. It lessened when Christopher was born.
Thank you, Doctor. I'll give you a call if we need to talk to you again.
Bye.
Bye-bye. And thank you.
We're taking the parents to the station.
Right, ma'am. Can you cope with the mortuary?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. It's all right. Take your time, June. Finish your cigarette.
Wait till I get you home.
Mrs. Robbins, if you could just come this way. Mr. Robbins, perhaps you go with PC Edwards.
Why can't we stay together?
It's simply that we'd like to talk to you individually.
It's just along here, sir. Mr. Robbins.
Tosh?
Hmm?
What do you think? It could have come from a kick.
Might have done. Difficult to tell. They've got a 9-year-old. She's bound to have her friends stomping around.
The table's been knocked about a bit.
It's difficult to keep a house pristine with kids.
So what do you reckon, Tosh? You're the expert on families.
Perfectly normal. Could have been one of my kids lying up there.
Scenes are finished. Stuff's ready to go down to Lambeth. So if you want to go down and have a word with the parents, Tosh.
Did he cry a lot? All the time. I used to joke about his strong lungs.
Did the crying bother you? What did you do when he cried?
I love to hear him cry. Babies cry, it's natural. To hear him meant he was there. He's all right. I worry for Deborah. Games. Kids like to play. rivalries, jealousies, wishing each other dead. Deborah didn't really mean it.
I do understand.
She loves Christopher. But you know what they're like. They can't get it out of their heads that it isn't their fault. When Linda went from us, Deborah was convinced.
Did you try to revive him?
I just held him.
And you realised that Christopher died?
Not for certain. I was just frightened he was.
Where was Deborah at the time? I mean, before Rachel called from upstairs.
She was having breakfast with me.
All the time?
Well, no, she's got a routine. I call her, make sure she's out of bed. And Rachel does her breakfast while she's getting dressed and using the bathroom. Then she comes down. I give her a breakfast and Rachel gets Christopher.
Okay. Tell me, how did Deborah get on with the new baby?
She adores him.
Was she in the habit at all of going to see Christopher? To play with him?
No, she's normally in too much of a rush.
But she did sometimes?
No.
While your wife was busy?
No, I mean, why are you asking these questions?
It's just that Deborah seemed to think, well, she told an officer, that it was her fault.
You don't seriously imagine?
It's just got to be cleared up, that's all, honest.
It's just a reaction. It's shock. She didn't go near Christopher this morning, I promise you.
All right, Mr. Roberts. Now, look, I've got to ask you this. I mean, I know it'll sound, but why do you think your first baby died?
They couldn't give a cause. They put cot deaths on the certificate.
I see.
No, you don't. Nobody sees. Thinking it was maybe something we'd done or neglected.
We might need to talk to you again, I hope not. We'll let you know the results of the post-mortem, obviously, soon. I think your wife's with the inspector. She won't. Oh, yeah. I'll drop you round to your sisters if you want.
I'd rather go home. Collect Deborah and we've got to face it sometime.
Can we go back there yet?
Yes, we've finished.
Thank you.
We'll take you home. Ellis and I will drop them off. Tosh will collect Deborah on the way.
Thank you, Mum. Reg, have you seen Bob Cryer?
Yeah, he's gone up to your office.
Cheers. Oh, June, preliminary post-mortem. Did they find anything?
Not even nappy rash.
Thank you.
Preliminary examination revealed no identifiable cause of death. Yeah, okay, Gov, yeah, tell. Routine follow-up, then wait. Wait and see what Lambeth come up with.
We'll be drawing our pensions.
Well, I reckon they're straight, don't you?
There's nothing in that house to indicate any funny business. Still, we've got to button it up, tidy the ends. Right, Bob?
That's right, Tosh.
Taff? Taff?
Yeah? Absolutely fine.
Yeah, well, don't take it out on me, all right? Look, do you want to talk about it? And after all, I was there as well.
No, I don't want to talk about it, all right? It's just another death, isn't it? It's just another bloody death.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose that's the way to look at it. Oh, suit yourself. I'm going to go get drunk.
Yeah, why not?
It's still inconclusive. The pathologist couldn't say what the cause was.
So, again, no one can tell us why.
Yes, well, this is a receipt for the items we took from your house. How are you both feeling? Did you manage to get any sleep last night?
Well, not much. We, stayed up discussing the future. You know, what we ought to do. Kept Deborah awake with her talking.
How is she?
Quiet. It's upstairs. Didn't send her to school.
That's probably best. Do you have any problems? Neighbours or anything?
Had a couple of funny phone calls. Deborah took one.
Well, I'll ask the CID to look into that. They can aim a few questions around the neighbourhood, probably warn them off. Well, I'm sorry to have intruded, but that's the trouble with these things. I'll call round in a couple of days and see how you both are. Bye for now. You know that you could be put in touch with people who could help you talk these things through?
I don't think we'd really want that.
No, well, as I say, sometimes it helps. Thank you. Bye-bye then.
I suppose you get quite used to all this, do you?
Not really. No, sir.